Season preview, let's get it.
Florida State,
Stanford out of Cali?
Arizona, and Arizona State. Clark, what's your take of the team that make up the top five?
Sometimes the top players in the nation and the best teams in the nation aren't necessarily together at the top of the poll. Going into this season, we have some of the absolute best.
Ooh, AZ State right behind AZ.
That's
Okay.
really exciting to me, Greg.
The Stanford Cardinals are projected as the favorites here in the early going. They bring back 4 starters, and that should pay huge dividends for them this year.
I can't tell you what an advantage that is for them. There's so much turnover in the college game these days, and having 4 starters coming back is almost unfair, Greg.
Florida State is in the number 2 spot. These are defending national champions, and they're getting a lot of respect going into this season.
Usually, last year's champs get the benefit of the doubt in the first poll of the next season. So we'll find out soon enough if their position in the top 5 is based on reputation or is warranted.
Syracuse comes in as number 3. They've got a whole crew of high school Mr. Basketballs on this team.
The team is usually happy to land one Mr. Basketball, but with the number they have, this could be a golden era of basketball success at this university. There's nothing but good time.
Arizona starts the year as the 4th-ranked team. From a sheer talent standpoint, this team is right at the top of the charts.
Their roster is jam-packed with former high school All-Americans. They're like a traveling all-star team. It tells you a lot about the appeal of this university to the top high schoolers in the nation.
Arizona State is the number 5 team. They have no fewer than 3 former high school Mr. Basketballs on this team.
There are a lot of differences between the high school and college teams. Give me 3 former Mr. Basketballs, and I think I can build a pretty good team, just like the one we're looking at.
Here's the next group of teams in our preseason top 25. What's your impression of that set of teams?
We've seen plenty of future national champions come out of this group from the middle of the top 25. I'm not willing to say just yet whether that is going to happen again this year, but a few teams certainly have the potential.
The Cincinnati Bearcats, the number 10 team, have stirred up a lot of talk in the offseason. They'll be trying to build on last season's regular season conference championship.
Turning off
No matter how many
5-5.
different pieces they have this year as compared to last year, they'll go into this season with the attitude of we're the champ. If you want the crown, you've got to go through us.
The Oregon Ducks, the number 6 team, have also generated a lot of interest. They had a terrific record last season, finishing with 51 wins.
That says a lot about the team they had last year. Trying to rack up that many wins shouldn't be their goal. They need to focus on just playing good basketball and getting to the conference schedule with a nice head of steam. The wins will come.
Okay, Clark, let's take a look at the teams to close out the preseason top 25 poll. How about this list?
This is the year, Greg, when I think a few of the teams on this end of the poll really stand out above the
Rice and Vandy, who we played in the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 live. 24-25.
The number 17 team probably deserve a closer look. They're a tough team, but they're going to have a very hard time surviving that vicious conference they're in.
They're ranked highly now, but they're going to have to play a lot of tough games in that conference. If they're not consistently playing at a high level, we could see them slip a bit.
The Colorado Buffaloes, the number 23 team, are also worth keeping an eye on. One bit of good news for them, they have last season's leading rebounder coming back for another year.
With that low-post presence already established, they'll have a little bit of swagger heading into the season. I look for them to be sharp right from the start.
There were a lot of coaching changes this offseason. We'll tell you all about it. Here are the coaches who made a change this offseason. Some very interesting moves on the list, to say the least. The Pittsburgh coach is one of the hires that drew a lot of media attention. The Pittsburgh Panthers have a lot of fans that are delighted to have a coach of his ability, Clark.
He's yet to find his way to that final weekend, but he still has an impressive resume. His new school is certainly hoping he can add a Final Four run to his list of accomplishments.
The Arizona coach also made a move to a new school. That's generated some excitement on that campus. The Arizona Wildcats are a team looking to rebuild under their new leader.
He's going to have to make do with the players he inherited for a little while. But once he can get a year or two of recruiting under his belt and bring in his own guys, I think this program will take off.
We've come to part of the show when we look at the top players in the nation and unveil the list of our preseason All-Americans. There before you are the 5 first-team All-Americans as we begin the season, and what a list it is. The Washington State Cougars are pinning their hopes squarely on this young man's shoulders. Clark,
Langford is the first player on the list for good reason. He's a former high school Mr. Basketball out of. He was Washington's Mr. Basketball in high school. He was the best of the best in the state. But now he wants to prove that he's the best in the nation. He has the skills to do it, so we'll keep him on the watch list.
As for our next first team, Washington State is more than willing to go into battle with him, Clark.
Christie is simply a spectacular player. Feels like this guy's been playing college basketball forever. This will be his 4th year as a starter. But I still don't take him for granted. I think this will be his best season of all.
Next up is a player that's drawn comparisons to some of the all-time college greats. The Iowa Hawkeyes are fortunate to have him in their corner.
Tao is one of my favorite players in the country. It isn't out of the realm of possibility to say that he might even be a little bit underrated. I know it seems far-fetched to say that about a preseason All-American pick, but I'm not sure people realize just what a huge year he's in for.
Let's move on to a player who's worked very hard to earn his spot on the list. The Pittsburgh Panthers can depend on a solid effort from him each and every night.
Wilmot is going to play a huge role in his team's success. He was a monster on the glass last season. He came away with an average of 6 rebounds a game. That's just another aspect of his game that I expect to get better this season, and that's frightening to even think about.
And finally, we have another superb player to round out
Washington State got both of the guard positions on lock, huh? Washington State.
Seeing him make the impossible look ordinary.
Lindsey is going to have his own personal highlight reel by the end of this season. He was a multiple threat on the offensive end of the court last season. There will be more of the same this time around. Let him see him scoring, and it's a lock that he'll do it again.
As we move to the second team All-Americans, we can see there's no shortage of talent in this group. They're all
Oh, we up in there. Let's get it.
potential to dominate the game. The Washington State Cougars have built their team around this young man's talent.
Oh, Washington State in there again?
Was close to a spot on the first team, but there was too much competition this season. He can make things happen on the basketball court thanks to his unique ability to read and understand defense.
He's only 5'10", huh?
Are just trying to come up with their next move. He's 3 steps ahead of
We
the
got a lot of
game.
these little guards.
That's what separates the good player from the great.
The next player on the team is a sensational player in his own right. Florida State is in for a great year if he lives up to his potential.
Draper is in the spotlight for all the right reasons. He's got a mean streak running through him. And that's exactly what you need to be a dominant rebounder like he is. He's the leading rebounder on his team, and he relishes that role.
We can all look forward to some very exciting highlights from this young man this year. The Syracuse Orange hope to have this young man carry the load for them, and he looks up to the task.
Fish is an extremely powerful weapon for his team. If Tiger Fish was front runner for the Player of the Year award, he would be right there on the list. I've seen him take over games even when he isn't scoring 30. There's some great scores among these
I
All-Americans.
think he's going to be a junior now. Thought he would have went to the league.
Our next All-American may have designs on the first team by the end of the season. Florida State has one of the most reliable go-to guys in the country in him.
Larkin is one of the great talents in the college game today. He is the defending Naismith Award winner. If he can repeat that performance and win that award again, he would be joining the ranks of the greatest college performers in the history of the game.
And here we have the final player on our list of All-Americans, the Kansas Jayhawks. Know who their fan favorite is going to be this year.
Yao is ready to have a breakout season. There's plenty to like about him as a player. He's got that deadly combination of smarts and physical skills that makes him so difficult to defend. Coach's mentality in the body of a world-class athlete. Any questions as to why he's on the list?
All right, Clark, thanks very much. Glad you could join us for the 2K
That's
Sports
it. Season preview, holla.